And I was like, well, don't say it like we need to use this on television. So, like, why do you do it?
No, you got to keep that. I get $50. That's like the fucking realest answer ever.
She would eat her lunch in the elevator. She'd eat her lunch in the elevator and just jump as many times as she could during lunch to just rack up money to send money to his commissary and raise his kids. And I was like, I can't. None of this is TV friendly. Like
they should have videotaped it, and as she's yelling, she should have just been like, "Look what you put me through."
She said to me, I go, "How bad is it?" She goes, "First time's not that bad. Second time, terrifying." I said, "Why?" She goes, "Because you know it may not work." I was like, "What?" She goes, "The first time you're so overwhelmed that." She, by the way, she was Vietnamese, so she's not saying it this clearly, but she goes, "You're so overwhelmed that by the time you see the bullseye, you're landing, and you're like, I did it." She goes, "The second time, you see the bullseye from the top, and you go, that is where I'm going, and it may not stop on time." And she goes, "It's terrifying." And so I jump. The first time I go to jump.
How fucking bored are people?
That they jump off buildings?
That is because of free internet porn. It's too much. It's just too.
Whoa, back this up. Start this at the beginning. What do you mean, how bored are people free internet porn?
Just think about before media.
Okay.
All right, and you wanted to jerk off. It was up to you to create a porno in your head.
Yeah.
And if you lived in the middle of just the work that it was.
I remember
and it's not like
days.
there was any lotion or anything like that. I'm talking before TV and all of that shit. And now you could use whatever you can even think of.
Yeah.
It's like Netflix. You got to scroll through. Which one am I going to pick?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So then, because that's just, you're like a rich kid now. So instead of Bentleys, it's like whores, right? So you're just overwhelmed by that. And then after a while, it doesn't mean anything. So then the next thing you know, you're going to Vegas and it's like, all right,
let's jump off
this is
the
nice. I got to fucking jump off this thing so I can feel something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
My body no longer responds to human touch because it's like I've been on the Vice Squad for fucking 60 years.
Yeah.
There's kids out there like that. They have because they watch porn before their first time hooking up with a chick goes to touch them, they can't get it up because they're so fucking desensitized because of all the shit that they watch. This is how people end up on the top of the stratosphere. I'm telling you.
I can't imagine people are having sex for the first time and all their grooming is all the stuff they've seen on porns.
It's horrible.
So the first time they're like reverse cowgirl and they're like, wait, what? Your first time isn't supposed to be reverse cowgirl. It's supposed to be awkward, trembly arm missionary, like, But they've seen so much, they're like, I'm gonna do a cream pie, spit in your asshole, gaper, all right? We're out. And that, I mean,
No,
how
not
quickly...
we're out. He's fucking for like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Shut up, shut up, shut up. Trying to get himself there. Shut up, shut up, shut up. His voice is barely even changed.
I'm gonna have to choke you. Pull my hair. Pull my hair.
Shit in this cup. Shit in the cup. Don't ask questions.
I have an eel in the refrigerator. I'm gonna go get this eel out.
I know, all of these, I mean.
How many times did you have sex before you got wild in bed?
Oh, good question. It was more like how many women do you date before you met a wild one and showed you what wild was?
Wait, tell me about that girl.
I don't think I can.
Why?
You know why.
Then it's imaginary.
No. I'm not going to. I someday will tell you. Oh! I went from 0 to fucking Mach 2.
Shut up.
Yeah, dude. It was fucking bananas.
Oh, how old were you? Just tell me how old you were. Let's do 20 questions about it.
No, because she's fucking nuts, so I ain't gonna fucking put the time on it. Anytime you want me to talk, I'll tell you all about that.
I remember I was with a girl.
It was good. It was a great experience, though, because I was down for it. And then what happened was, then I kind of got caught up, and I was able to have this cool vibe with every woman that I met that I wasn't gonna judge. It's a huge thing. You don't judge somebody as far as like what they want to try or whatever. And then it kind of would free them up. It's shit you can't talk about now, but I had a phrase for it. I used to rub your mic. That's what I would call it. Not to them, I wouldn't.
Oh.
But you just created this fucking environment, and then they felt like, yeah, we were fucking, we were deviants.
I had a girl, first time I had sex with her. We ended up dating, but first time I had sex with her, we're getting towards the end, and she
By
goes,
the way, do you ever think I'd whisper that in your ear?
no. In a million fucking years. First time I had sex with her, she goes, we're getting close to the end, and she goes, do you want to come on my face? And I was like, not originally, but I guess now I do. I don't want to be the one guy that didn't. And so,
Yeah. You took it as a challenge.
and then next thing you know, it's like, that's my thing. And then you go to the next girl, and she's like, what the fuck are you doing? And you're like, oh, sorry, I only speak the language of the last person, so I'm trying to translate into you.
It's a bold move, dude. That's a bold move.
Really? Wait, where are you going?
And then you're over. Oh, I thought it was cool. Wiping it off with your sleeve. Sorry. Do you hate me? Do you hate me now? Then you play the victim. Then you play the victim. Oh, now you hate me. Great. I mean, I can't do anything. I mean, everything. I mean, you're leaving your shoe there. Don't come on my face. I mean, nag, 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 nag.
I'm on the corner of the bed naked, pouting. Just, no, I'm the asshole. I'm the asshole. Oh.
Still haven't ashed it. Look at that,
my God.
huh?
Oh my God.
It's the big ash for Billy Burr.
Did you see the cigar I posted on? You don't follow messages on Instagram, do you?
I haven't been on Instagram in like a month.
I
don't know what
I
it
was
is.
smoking a cigar 2 nights ago, and I did a video, but it didn't record. And I said, "Hey, Billy," and then I stopped it. I started to record it. It didn't record, and then I got it to record. And Leanne called me out. She goes, "Were you gonna call him Billy?" And I went, "Yeah." And she goes, you don't call him Billy." And I went, "Leanne, just shut the fuck up." She's like, "No, I'm not gonna let you."
Talk to your wife like that?
Yeah. All right, maybe I shouldn't. No, I make it up. It's make believe. I have a pretty regular.
You know, I saw a thing the other night where these two neighbors just escalated their fight until the one neighbor shot and killed both of them in fucking cold blood. And what was the guy like? It was basically a guy, I think, that his whole life he was in control. And he was a great dad and all that type of shit. And he buys his little house in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
And then these people moved in, and they were like sort of hoarder, junk, sort of funky, hippie sort of vibe, right? And they were right across from him. And he didn't like the way they were living their lives. And I don't know, it just started fucking escalating. And basically what happened was the road that they shared, he fucking, they had to back out of their driveway onto his property. So he started planting a garden in the middle of the fucking street, and the dude backed over. And then finally, he fucking put a boulder right. They couldn't even get their fucking car out. So the guy comes home from fucking the restaurant with his wife, and he's pissed. And he goes in, he grabs a sledgehammer, and he has a heart condition. He's fucking slamming it. And she's going, "Jared, stop it, Jared." They had the on 911, the fucking him coming down and killing him, right? She's going, "Jerry, stop it, stop it." And he goes, "Shut up." And they had talked the whole time how much in love they were.
Yeah.
And it was so sad. Then the guy shoots him, and as he's getting shot, he says, "I love you." But I'm going to. I mean, that really took you guys down.
Where's this? What were we talking
Because
about?
that's how you talk to somebody you love.
Oh, yeah.
You tell them to shut up, and then when the neighbor comes over to kill you, you're like, "Oh yeah, I love this person."
Yeah.
And then you say it in that moment.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I have a more depressing story than that.
Oh yeah? You want to go back and forth?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Our street's a one-way street, but there's a Starbucks by our house.
That's so sad.
No, and so this guy, one time
You
I'm
ever come
walking,
down the wrong way?
I get
have to
really
back?
upset when people drive the wrong way down our one-way street. It drives me nuts. I talked to my therapist about it, and he goes, "What can you do about it?" And I said, "Nothing." And he said, "Then don't let it affect you anymore. Get yourself apart from that." Anyway, one day I'm walking the girls to school, and this guy flies out in his fucking BMW the wrong way and comes close to my girls, and I fucking yell at him. I don't know why I yell. I'm not going to do anything. But he stops his car, gets out of his car. He's an older guy. He's like 60, 65 maybe.
You're like, "I got this."
And well, I have a water bottle in my hand, so I'm like, and it could be used as a weapon. And I go, "Hey, asshole, you're going the wrong way, and you're flying down. You almost hit me and my kids." And he starts yelling, "Fucking 30 years I drive down the street. No one's ever said a fucking word. 30 fucking years. 30 years. This is my street more than it is yours." And I was like,
No, it
Jesus
isn't.
Christ. Yeah.
30 years you've been breaking the law?
A month ago, I saw the guy.
I haven't hit my wife for 30 years. No one's ever said a fucking word about it. Like, it's the dumbest argument ever.
30 years. That's what he said to me. 30 years, this is my
You
seat.
fucking tattletale.
Yeah. So I see him a month ago, he had a stroke. And he's walking around, they got him in a wheelchair. And I thought, oh, that all caught up to him. I was like, wow.
Hey.
And then I was like, oh, you know what? That's why you don't let people driving the wrong way down your street affect you, because one day you're still fucking worked up 30 years later and you have a fucking stroke.
So you think that you caused the stroke?
I hope I did.
There's a part of you. That's a big
Part of
thing
me,
to
I'm
admit.
fucking, the guy was so aggressive in front of my daughters. I was like, ugh, this is a bad dude. Hey, let's talk about me being a hero, though.
You'll
Did you
never
tell him not to fucking drive his
leave here
wheelchair up the wrong way?
alive.
No. No, I
You
didn't.
can use that if you want.
By the way, I'm already thinking about that come on the face joke, going, how much of that was Bill and how much was me? Can I take that on stage? I gotta write a new hour.
Do it. It is
I
your
gotta have a
story.
new hour by fucking
Do
February.
it. I don't give a fuck.
Oh,
Is that you?
oh my God.
This is a job.
It just started loosening up. You know, the cigar starts loosening up by the bottom.
Oh yeah. Dude, I have so much shit I have to do after this too. It's fucking
What do you have
ridiculous.
to do?
I gotta decorate a tree. I gotta study for that fucking test. I don't know, but can you do that look again? You gotta do that in a movie sometime.
What?
You like this, you went. You did this little turn.
A test? A helicopter thing?
Yeah.
For real?
I know, it always bugged me one time. You said, like, I would never fly in a helicopter. You said, because it's one bolt. Huh? You go, it's one bolt. And I've literally been in my car arguing with you by myself about that. And I say, Bert, it's aviation. It's all one bolt. One bolt on anything has taken a plane down. You can't lose bolts in aviation.
It's not even my thought. It was someone else told me that in a helicopter, and fucking panicked me. Dude, we flew in a single-engine Cessna, I think.
Dude, if you lose your rear stabilizer in a fucking plane, which one bolt can fucking do that. I saw a thing with this, it got stuck. I don't know shit about planes before. Yo, you fucking flyboys start giving me shit. Yeah, you just invert and it's over.
So wait, what test are you taking in helicopters?
It's an instrument thing. It's super egghead shit. I fucking love it, but like it's pushing the boundaries of
Is that you?
fucking
Get me
my
out of here.
mental capacity.
Wait.
It's so much work.
Where are you going?
It's so much brain, like, so.
But dude, the reward in the end is just fucking amazing. I flew a buddy of mine who's helping me with my instrument. We flew an A-Star the other day, which is the one that the cops and the news guys fly.
Yeah.
Compared to what I fly.
You fly the small ones?
Yeah, the light aircraft,
Yeah.
which are fucking scary. You know, you go out towards like the desert and stuff, and the wind kind of whips through that right by the Morongo Casino. It gets scary, and
Oh yeah.
I won't get into the whole logistics of semi-rigid versus a fully articulated main rotor system. That's what the
let
fuck
me
you
out.
want. So
My
this is what this
family
thing had,
needs me.
and it was fucking it was like life-changing when I flew it.
Really?
I literally said to my wife, like, I wish you knew what the feeling felt like. To pull power and the thing just we just fucking.
And so that's the test you're taking is to fly
You
those?
must die.
No, that's the helicopter that I want to someday buy a used one.
I'll break
You know.
Yeah. Get a hanger out in Van Nuys.
Well, no, they forced everybody out because they don't want any like weekend warrior guys because they want people with like big jets where they can make all the money on the fuel and stuff.
Yeah.
So they kind of forced everybody out. So, I mean, I don't know. But I have to tell you, dude, flying that fucking thing, it was.
Put it in words that I get.
It was, compared to what I'm used to flying, it was like a sports car in the air. How responsive it was, how forgiving it was, the power that you had, the space in it, like, you know, like the space between me and the door was so big, I kept thinking I had the door open. Because I'm used to the fucking, I fly this little fucking egg beater, you know?
Let me at least talk to my wife.
And then also because the main
Is that
rotor
you?
turned the
Get me
opposite
out
way,
of
so your inputs on your
Let
feet
me
are
at least
different.
talk to my-
The exact opposite.
They've taken
But my
4
instructor
other
told me the
priests.
most brilliant thing.
I
He
pray
goes,
they are all
the
alive.
collective comes up, your left foot comes up. Your left foot just does what that, and it just, because people say, oh, just follow the nose, but it's a weird thing because you have like muscle memory, and then you're also flying something that's more expensive, and you don't want to fuck up, and there's people watching, so you get into your head, you're like, what the fuck am I doing? And you have to let go of all of that and just watch the nose. But he just gave me that little thing, so I was able to anticipate it, and I flew like really well with the thing.
Where did you fly to?
We just flew out of Whiteman, which is just north of Burbank, flew down the 5, and then just went out over like Hollywood, but there was like rain coming in, there was all weather coming in, so we had to bring it back. And but it was I can't. It was just the level of power and that was at your fingertips and how sensitive it was, and just anything that I wanted it to do, it did. It was exhilaration that I haven't felt. Like I can't explain it. It was. Do you know when like in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, when the guys take out the Ferrari and they go over the hill?
Yeah.
That's what it felt like. It was fucking. It was like I was grinning ear to ear the whole time I was flying it, and I haven't stopped thinking about it. And it was like a week ago. It was literally like a life-changing moment. Like going.
Don't let anything.
It's you know, getting your pilot's license, dude. It's just like it's one of the biggest privileges you could ever get. Like, I can't believe legally I can do this.
Yeah.
And you just take off, rent one of the things, and you just fly over all this stuff. It's so peaceful, and it's amazing.
We flew to Fresno in a plane, like a single engine, whatever. I forget what it's called. And the guy that was there said, you know, how interested are you in flying? I said, very. He said, well, then why don't you help me go through my checklist, and I will help you learn how to fly. We'll get up, I'll let you fly a little bit. Keep it at altitude. I'll give you the readings or whatever. Keep on direction. And I was so overwhelmed by how much information you had to have that
I'll tell you the fucking most incredible thing is when you're learning, there's this period you go through for about 3 weeks, maybe to a month, depending on how fast you're doing it, where you feel like you're ready to solo and you're getting a little cocky or whatever. And I'm telling you, the day your instructor steps out and goes, okay, you know, I want you to just, and it just was literally a hover taxi, like 50 yards, turn around, come back. You're never more than like fucking 4 feet off the ground, but there's something about a helicopter where you have that guillotine over your fucking head. You just go, what the fuck? And he goes, all right.
You cannot lock us up like this.
He goes, all right, set her down. We're down on Long Beach, and he steps out of the thing. And then all of a sudden, it's like, your heart like, oh, fuck. You know, and I'm fucking German-Irish, so you don't know what I'm thinking. I'm just fucking sitting there, all right. And he goes, all right, so the weight displacement's going to be really weird the first time. So
because he's not in it.
He's not in it.
Oh, fuck,
so he goes, just make sure you have...
Oh, whoa, hold on. Stop. Take that back 2 seconds.
Bayek.
You've been flying with 2 people your whole time.
The whole time.
So it's almost like playing in wet socks. And then he's like, all right, you're going to play a lot faster. So you need to.
Well, yeah, you're gonna pull power more than you need probably, and you're gonna fucking shoot up a little bit, and then you gotta have the stick way forward.
Yeah.
It's gonna feel like you're fucking like this, and all you're really doing is moving it to here, but it's just, and then it just becomes like, this is weird. This is this is weird, and then it's just like, and then the first time they have you flying the pattern, the whole time you're talking to yourself, you can't believe what you remember. Because they've so drilled it into your head that you're just saying everything that they've been saying. When you go to take your turns, and it's just like approaching runway 30 down Long Beach.
What are you doing
You
here?
just start doing your downwind check.
Careful.
Lights are out, RPMs are in the
Soldiers
game,
are
gauges are all green. Collective down, right pedal, or whatever. Left pedal is what it is. And then fucking full carb heat, all of this shit. And then you're looking at your altimeter, so when you turn base, making sure you're at the right height, the right speed, in case you had to go into an auto rotation, the whole fucking thing. And it's just like, I almost get nervous just talking, like how fucking, like anything I ever did in stand-up, including fucking doing the Apollo, all of that shit, nothing, Letterman, nothing was like, it wasn't even the first time I did like a solo, that was like a half hour up, half hour back. The first time I had to do this 3 hours, you had to get 3 hours on the Hobbs meter, like, so they don't measure in like miles, they measure in time, right? So you had to do 3 hours. You flew to a controlled airport that has a tower, and then you flew to an uncontrolled airport, and you had to get gas, fuel, and then no, you didn't have to get fuel, and then you had to come back. And dude, I have to tell you, dude, like that fucking flight was just like the level of like you're just like in fight or flight mode the whole time, level of stress.
Yeah.
And I just keep looking over at that empty seat, and it's just like, if something goes down, this is fucking on me. Fuck, right? And I'm just like, not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen today. Just doing that shit.
Not today, motherfuckers.
And so I made it all the way to French Valley, set it down, and one of my instructors was somebody else, and she was supposed to be like right behind me, but the person she was flying with flew really slow, because I guess she was going to be talking to me the whole way, which would have been way more comforting. But I kind of was just like, you know, I remember when I went to lift off, I fucking shot up in the air, and it was really hot out, and I was sweating, and I was like fucking trying to get back under control. I'm like, I know everybody just saw that, and I was just like, fucking the airplane. I just wanted to get out of the airport. I got out of the airport, and then some wind was coming. I was like, fine, okay, I'm good. And I went by this airport where this guy is just always grumpy, this guy in the fucking tower there. I'm not gonna say the tower because I don't need any shit, right?
If someone's there,
Look at him,
let
tell him
me
so many
out
stories, my
and
cigar
fight
went out.
me.
So I fucking, the call is, what I just say, you know, whatever, fucking
Is someone
Burbank
there?
Tower, helicopter,
Damn
blah,
you
blah, blah,
all.
blah, blah. I kept saying like Burbank traffic. Burbank traffic is when you're talking to people when you're just out. I was,
You were right.
And the guy kept going, it's tower, you say tower. And I was so, I guess go, Burbank traffic, student pilot. Fucking nuts.
Do you like flying because it shuts your brain down? Because no, I mean, I'm just preface this with like, anyone that knows you well knows that like Bobby Kelly will say it. We've said it before. You really are probably one of the fastest, most thinking comedians. Like you always are thinking. You're always kind of whittling subjects and topics down.
Can I tell you what's funny about that? I'll tell you two people I cannot even remotely keep up with mentally. Jim Norton and Dave Attell. I did a tour, me, Brewer, Norton, and Attell, and in the end, we'd all come out and like try to do like this improv thing. Mm-hmm. And dude, the speed with which those two guys' brains work, I couldn't even remotely keep up. So if you guys think that my brain works on some level, those guys are like fucking, dude, those guys were crazy. Like there were nights me and Brewer were standing there like, dude, because me and Brewer were like kind of goofy or whatever, and they were just like, bam,
Norton's
bam,
brain is nonstop like that. But you're like that. And when I flew that plane, I thought, oh, this is why Bill. I really thought this is why Bill likes this, because this is like an hour where it's almost like therapy. Like, you know, when you take a Xanax, my brain stops, and I enjoy it because I go.
What is Xanax?
Oh, it's
I always hear about it.
this
What is
world.
it?
It's like a benzo. And you take it, and it just kills your brain. Just stops thinking.
Is that supposed to help me?
The benzos are pretty aggressive. That's a big
You
Florida
went deeper
thing.
into the pill world. Like you're
Yeah.
supposed to come back more my way.
No, this is a Florida thing.
It's like a Dorito that gets you high. It's like a benzo. Oh, thank you.
But I thought, when I was in a plane, I thought, this is why Bill likes this, because it is like it really does probably give you peace and quiet where you're in the moment and not thinking of a million different things.
It's a thrill when
Is
you
that what
do
you
it, and then you, if you solo, it's in the beginning. I think after a while it probably wears off, but like when
You've
able.
been flying for 6 years?
Yeah, but I take like big chunks of time off. Like when I went back to New York, I had an acting gig. I mean, we were just working every day, and I had my family there, so I had to. You got to prioritize. So, I mean, I don't have that many hours for as long as I've been doing it. So, but the fun thing about it is it's still such a fucking thrill when I get to go do it. And
I want to go with you in a helicopter, and one of those ones you're talking about, the high-powered ones, on the beach. Because you can go like.
dude, I met a guy that fucking flies one of those high-performance ones.
Yeah.
That you can do fucking loop-de-loops in.
Oh, fuck
Dude,
that.
I saw that guy fucking take off. Dude, he pulled power. This thing just went like a fucking high-speed elevator. It didn't even make sense.
Yeah.
It was just like, how, his stomach has got to be in his socks.
Yeah.
Like, how the fuck you can even do that? And
They were gonna-
the guy had an air show, so he went out to go
Oh, wait,
practice.
I know this guy.
Practice
I
his
know this. I might
routine.
know this guy. I was supposed to fly for Travel Channel with this. There's like the best. Are you talking about like one of the best helicopter guys out there? He does loop-de-loops and does
No,
an
he's
air
a
show?
mediocre guy who's out there doing barrel rolls over Disneyland.
I think I know who you're talking about.
There's a number of them out here.
Yeah?
So it might be a different guy. I'm not trying to blow up anybody's spot or whatever.
No.
I don't know the guy. I just watched him take off. And what's funny was I was flying the Robinson R22, which is the smallest, lightest.
beater?
As far as I know. There's a couple of old, I think, Sikorskys that are like that. But like, what's fun about the 22, if you learn how to fly on it, is it's like driving a car with no power steering or power brakes. So you're really flying the thing.
Yeah.
And if you can hold a hover in that, they always said you can kind of fly anything, which, you know, it depends on how much you fly too, but like it definitely helped me when I moved up to something else. The hardest, it's not really holding a hover. The hardest thing when you get into a different helicopter is when you're, it's setting back down, knowing where the skids are. Because if it's a bigger helicopter, you're used to something smaller, so you feel like you still got like another 6 feet to go, and it's like, oh fuck, like you feel like one of the skids like hitting and stuff. So
I tell you, my brain is so stuck in promoting tour dates and Instagram videos that I immediately, if I had your skill set of flying helicopters, I would be booking a world tour, and everywhere I went, I'd rent a helicopter and take everyone on like a fucking sightseeing tour. Fly up in the helicopter, GoPro, cameraman, shoot it.
Yeah.
Guys, let's see Tel Aviv. Just
You know what's funny is I would like to start doing, like when I know a few people, I know a great school up in Vancouver, and I got a gig coming up there, and I'm gonna try and fly with those guys again, because the last time I flew up there it was like a real cloudy day, so I didn't get to see the beauty of.
take a camera. I would love to see it.
Yeah, no, it's a.
Go to New Zealand, go up to the glaciers and fly up glaciers. We
You
did
know,
that.
you know, lives in New Zealand and flies helicopters.
Who?
Phil Rudd, drummer of AC/DC.
Really?
Yeah, when the first time he had he left AC/DC or got fired was after the Flick of the Switch recording, not even the tour. He recorded the album, and they parted ways, and he just kind of quit the music business, didn't play drums forever, and just learned how to fly a helicopter. And this is what I read, anyways. And like, what was funny was he hadn't talked to anybody in AC/DC in 13 years. And out of nowhere, Malcolm just called him up, rest his soul. And he picks up the phone, he's like, yeah. And then Malcolm's just like, hey, it's Mal. You want to have another go? And he just goes, yeah. And then he was back in. And then they ask him, they go, how much drums had you played since you left? He goes, none. Didn't play any. And then he came right back. He's one of the greatest drummers of all time.
Yeah.
There's a great story Brian Johnson tells how they were fucking recording an album, and it was the take that they wanted, and the fucking tape ran out or something like that, and the producer was all bummed out or whatever, and I guess Phil Rudd was just like, nah, just play it again, I'll jump back in. They're like, you can't do that, it's impossible. He goes, just play the tape. And he did it fucking perfectly. And the same energy got right back into it and fucking nailed the take. And the producer was just like, this is fucking unbelievable. You're fucking amazing. He just goes, and now. I'm butchering the story. Look up Brian Johnson. He tells it way better because he was there.
Yeah. I wish we had an equivalent to that in stand-up. Like, I wish there was like our stories are all like, you know, I guess telling someone's joke is like that. You know, sharing a Norm Macdonald joke is like that.
He's fucking amazing.
Oh,
Hitler's gone.
he's amazing.
Yeah.
He's amazing for the times that I just go like, I don't know. I'm obsessed with those guys because like I look at things
The
like
thing about him is he's operating on such a level that there's so many people that don't get him, and that's what makes me like him even more.
oh yeah.
You know, like there's always those guys where it's like people know they don't understand. I think it's almost like you have to do stand-up to understand how fucking great that guy is.
I think so. I think
Dude, that's why, you know, rest his soul, Brody, why I love Brody Stevens. It was just like the shit that guy would say, and I would never hear him say it again.
Yeah.
When he would just
it's
riff.
like those guys where you can't tell if you are getting the joke or you're not getting the joke. Like you don't know if they're joking or not joking. I could never tell with Norm or with Brody. Like is he fucking with me right now?
I remember one time somebody heckled him in the crowd, and he fucking was basically saying, "How dare you talk down to me? I'm in show business." He goes, "Hey, I'm in the gated community. I buzz you in. I buzz you in." And it fucking that's like one of those things where it was like the crowd was dying laughing because everyone thought it was funny, but I was just like, do you understand like how fucking bizarre and obscure that reference is?
Yeah.
To throw that out there so fearlessly in front of a fucking packed house.
Oh.
It was like a discovery moment. I'm like, oh, crowds get I know that sounds like sort of a pedestrian reference, but there is a thing, especially when you start touring, that you kind of have to commercial fish a little bit, where you kind of got to be like, cast a wide net with like your references. And I kind of learned a lot by watching him.
Fish is a really great statement.
Yeah, but it's just like you sit there and like, no, man, I can just kind of go up and just talk how I talk.
Yeah.
But that's like, when I did the thing in London, I was just like, I'm just gonna act like I'm in fucking America.
It was so
and
funny.
It works because I don't even know why it works, because I saw Brody do it. I was like, all right,
yeah.
I guess you can do that. I didn't know that.
He lived right next to me, and we went to the same Starbucks all the time. One night, me and the girls were walking across the street to the Starbucks from our Gelson's or whatever.
Dude, I don't know if I can finish this fucking thing.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. And the girls see Brody outside, outside having his coffee, writing, and George, my oldest, goes, "Dad, Brody Stevens." The idea that his branding with his name had made it down to a 10-year-old just blew me away.
He was another guy. I couldn't watch him too much because his cadence.
Oh, Ian Bagg's another guy. I can't watch Ian too much. You start talking like this. Okay, all right.
Okay. You should see my dick.
Oh, flicker in the tit. Mitch Hedberg.
You got it.
Attell, Hedberg, Ian Bagg, all cadences.
Regan.
Oh.
Dude, when I started early, people were saying I was ripping off Regan because
I remember those days. I remember that. I always say, I remember when you switched into Bill, like legit, to the point where like people now copy your cadence. I remember that.
Poor bastards.
Oh, yours is.
Don't do it. I don't want to know what my cadence is because it'll.
Oh no.
Because then I'll be in my head.
I can't tell your cadence, but
Am
I know
I doing me right now? What's funny? I just fucking yeah. What happened to Bill?
No,
he Googled himself. It's over. I
remember we were at the Boston Comedy Club and you went up and you had just been fired by Barry Katz and ICM, and you murdered.
It wasn't ICM. It was somebody else though. I've had so many agents I don't even fucking remember.
It was Barry Katz definitely, and you murdered, and I went up and fucking bombed.
It was Barry Katz.
I'm shirtless in the back, and I'm having a beer, and you come back there, and I was like, Bill, whatever the fuck you're doing, man. Holy shit, this is so different than I saw the guy on TV, he's got selling the pans, and I'm like, bang, bang, bang.
Yeah,
it was so different than that.
I had nothing.
Yeah, it was so different.
Because I had nothing.
And I go,
I failed in LA.
Oh, it was
I unincorporated. I went back to my walk-through bedroom, and Bobby Kelly was living. There was 3 of us living in a walk-through bedroom. Bobby slept in the living room. I slept in the walk-through, and then our roommate, who had the lease, he had the bedroom. And we used to play roller hockey every fucking day. Me and Bobby almost killed each other. And I lost my manager. I lost my agent. I remember Patrice. He could be so fucking passive-aggressive.
Yeah.
He just goes like, "Damn, Bill, and you're back here." It's just like, wow. I mean, I know shit ain't happening for me, but like, it's like at least he goes. No wait. He goes. At least I feel like I'm moving forward. He said that on the phone. I remember it really hurt my feelings, and I didn't because I didn't know how to say it in the moment.
Yeah.
It's just like, who said it? It's my dick is on the floor. You got to jump up and down on it. What the fuck? The fuck else do you need here?
Oh.
He could be a cunt.
Oh, he could, yeah. Oh, definitely.
But even then he was hilarious.
I remember telling him, and we were in.
This is like the sad second half.
No.
This
is the part where, like, I will always say this before. Out of all our friends that do podcasts, I might be the only one that listens to more podcasts. I listen to more podcasts than I do. I love podcasts. I love listening to old Opie and Anthony. Like when you guys would come on.
I can only listen to it so much because then I get sad.
Really?
Because I miss, like, I can't even tell
It
you
was
the
so
fucking void of
Oh.
going back to New York and that show isn't there.
It was so good. It was so fucking. I remember you calling in. I remember being in the
I
car.
loved calling into
You
that
calling
show.
in and fighting with Patrice. You and Patrice got into this huge fucking fight about who I don't even know what it was. And I'm
This
in.
stupid fucking man cow show.
Oh, it was the Man Cast show. Patrice is in studio. You called in. He threw you
No,
under the
he
bus.
called in.
He called in. You threw him under
I
the bus.
didn't throw him under the bus. What he didn't know, because he wasn't listening, was that was Mancow's style. Mancow trashed my fucking half hour on HBO that I had coming out. That's how he ended my segment.
He trashed me. He hated me. Or at least I
Yeah,
thought he did.
he didn't like me either. He didn't like me either. He didn't like me. He didn't like anybody. And it was a big misunderstanding. And our friendship was never the fucking same after that.
You and Patrice?
Yeah, because
Really?
that happened so close, and then like 5 years later he died. But the thing was, but I moved to LA in 2007, so we couldn't quite get past it because I would go huge chunks of time without seeing him,
Yeah.
and then we'd see him. We would kind of go back to that. We were still friends, but it wasn't the same.
Where were you when you
There,
found out?
top that sadness, and
Where
then
were
he
you-
passed
where
away.
were you when you found out he passed?
I'll tell you, Bobby Kelly sent me a text. He said Patrice passed away. P-A-S-T. Swear to God. P-A-S-T. He passed away. And it was this weird thing where there was this overwhelming sadness, and then I also had the urge to call Bobby on three-way with Keith Robinson and trash him for his fucking juvie education that he got.
Bobby texted me when Keith had a stroke, and he goes, hey, just giving you a heads up, Keith had a stroke. He's in the hospital, he's okay. And I wrote back, worse than Patrice's, question mark? And he goes, no, he's still alive. And I go, I'm joking, Bobby.
I know, what else are you supposed to do in that fucking moment? Oh, boy. What other sort of morose shit can we talk about here?
Oh, we'll turn this around.
What's the name of the cigar again?
Assault.
Assault, yeah. Assault on our feelings.
This is fucking aggressive.
I'm basically smoking all my cigars for this month right now.
This is, they have to have an equivalent of how many cigars this is. It's got to be 3.
Oh, no, dude. I think it's between five. I
Well,
was
you figure
4 or 5.
You figure. I wouldn't be
I
shocked.
can't smoke anymore.
You can. You just get dizzy and it hurts. Have orange juice.
Power through it.
Turn it around. Are you touring at all?
No, I can't wait. I start next month.
January?
Yeah, and you know what I realized with his
How much?
touring.
Oh wait, hold on 1 second. How much material do you have? How much new material do you have? Do you have a full hour?
I get an hour and 15.
Can I run? Throw me my joke book. I'm gonna run through it real quick. Tell me what I can use. Go. So.
You got that cum in the face bit. That's a closer.
Come in the face bit. You know, that's an aggressive move. I'm only speaking her language. That's a good one. There's nothing better than a good little bit. What was the first bit you got after you did your special where you're like, not something you've been working on that you're kind of folded in, but something you're like, that's brand new and it fucking works?
2, I got this abortion bit, and then this bit about this lesbian.
Oh.
And what I loved is the first time I did the lesbian bit, these 2 women fucking screamed at me, told me to go, and I was, fuck you, go fuck yourself. And I knew that they were gonna wait for me. Comedy club security is the worst. I'm like, they're out of here, right? Right? They're not here?
Yeah,
they're not here, they're not here. So I knew, so I put my fucking hoodie up and I go to walk out, and of course they're there. They're like, yeah, they left, and I take the hoodie off. You motherfucker, fucking.
What do you say? You changed my, I won't say, I'm not gonna throw you.
But you know what's funny though, is within a month of doing that, because that was the first time I was trying the story, within a month of doing that, I had a lesbian come up to me and she goes, I absolutely love that bit. I feel like you're talking about my life. Which is why,
See, that's okay.
which is why people you can't film people, because I can't work it out at home. I gotta figure out how to say it. I gotta figure out what I'm saying, because I'll be honest with you, after I had that fucking fight, like, 3 days later, I was thinking about it. I was like, I don't want to make people feel like that. That's not what I'm trying to do with that story. But when they flipped out, that was my defensiveness from the environment that has been created in comedy clubs
Papa,
by so
Why
many of
there's
these
so many
fucking
poor
white
Asians?
chicks. I swear to God, it's like half the time they're getting offended by a group that's not even
Egypt has
offended.
forgotten who she
I
is.
have
It's
a big
fucking
bit about.
like-
chose wealth.
I have a bit.
In the end,
I had a
he got
bit
neither.
that I
Lost justice as well.
was trying to
we
work
are Magi.
opposite
We will bring
direction,
justice and honor
but it only
back
worked
to
one way.
Egypt.
It only worked about
Yes, my son.
being married to a black chick,
have not forgotten
and it
who we
only
are.
worked if you
We
made
will
fun of
endure,
white
no
people.
matter our
You couldn't work
origin.
it the other direction.
Yeah.
And I ended up- I had to
It's
bail
called
on
the
it.
entry point. You have
Yeah.
to figure out how to enter it
The king
so
of gods.
they're going to be open to listen to
Divided
what
in two
you're going to
forms.
say.
Yeah.
Because
The
there's
great
the other
goddess of
style where you
invisibility,
just like,
Amulet,
fuck you, I'm saying it how I want to
master
say it.
of the wind.
And you know
I don't
those
want
guys
to
who
pander. I don't want
like,
to sit up here and go.
upholds
I don't want to go.
justice,
I know this is the
Lord
only
of
way
the
you'll hear
shadows
this.
and
I want to say
silence.
it as funny as equal.
right,
You know?
but you have to do it in a way where you want them to. Depends on what you want to do. Like whenever there was those comics that would walk the room,
Forgives them.
and that's a style. But my thing was always like if you leave, then the fun's over. I want you to think about leaving, but you stay. So then you have to listen to all the rest of my shit.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
more the thing. I don't know.
yeah. Are you getting to the end of it? How long are we in? 15 more? Oh,
That's
yeah,
it?
I can do that.
Oh, dude, there's more. We gotta take this thing to the end, man.
Yeah. The premise I had was, in DC. There's a interracial couple in the front row, regular-looking white dude, hot black chick.
Okay, so now it's politically correct. You shit on the white guy and you complimented the black chick. Okay.
All right. And I said, but the premise I wanted to say is, to the white guy, what's it like being with a black person all day, every day? Like there's got to be shit where you go, I didn't see that coming, and he wouldn't go there. And he was like, it's the same. But then when I gave it to the black chick, when I give it to
public. That's when it changes.
But I said it to the black chick, and she shit on him. She was like, I fucking hate hockey. I've never seen hockey in my whole life, and now I gotta sit. I walk in, and he's watching hockey, and I've tried to go back to him. Like, what about, like, you ever come home and she's watching Wendy Williams? And he was like, I don't know what you're talking about, man. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, because you can't go that way.
You can't, and
I've tried. It doesn't work. You know what's funny? Oh my God, we get in such stupid fucking arguments about shit. What did I make fun of? Well, I just sometimes, but I don't think this is like a racial thing. It's just I sometimes get surprised at what she thinks is funny, and then what I'll out of nowhere just like piss her off. Like she was watching something on, you know that actress who married the prince, the redheaded prince there, right?
Yeah. Kate Upton.
Yeah. So no.
Peepo.
You know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Well, anyway, so
yeah.
recently she was complaining about how mean the paparazzi was to her. So it was on, and I wasn't even, I was just being a comedian. I just saw something on TV and I made fun of it. And I was like, I married a prince, and now everybody makes fun of me.
Yeah.
Just something stupid like that.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, you fucking married somebody where the wedding was broadcast to the world. Go marry some local fucking guy if that's the life you want. Like, I don't understand what the fuck is going on here. And she just flipped out. Why are you so fucking mean? I was kind of like, she's so flipped out that I was like, oh, all right. I had to like think about what I said. Still think I'm right.
Is there ever a time where you do notice cultural sensibilities, like things that she finds funny that you go, yeah, I don't really get that?
No.
Like Little Duval or like Cat Williams. I love Cat Williams, but I grew up with hip hop, but my wife can't
Dude,
get
what
Cat
it is,
Williams.
what it is you're trying to turn a real human relationship into a Def Jam bit, and it's just like
Doesn't work.
it's not. It isn't. Like I don't. It's like it's all the same fights. It's the same. We don't pay attention. We gotta spend more time. You're listening to the sports too loud. It's the same fucking fight.
Same.
The whole thing is just like, you've traveled the world enough to know. People are the same. They want to find love, they want to feel safe, and they want to go get a sandwich. That's basically what everybody is, or whatever the fuck, kebab. Wherever the fuck you live.
I lived with two lesbians in New York, and I was fresh out of college. I didn't know anything about anything
Oh God.
diverse. And
Can I
thought,
watch you two get it on while I have my shirt off? What did I say? And then I come on your face? No? That's not cool? I paid half my rent. Technically, why am I paying half? If you bitches, you should be a third and a third. If I'm paying 50%, I ought to be able to see the two of you go down on each other. And then they flipped out.
I thought I would come home and they'd be wrestling in sports bras, just.
I know.
And it was just, they just fell in love like regular roommates. It was annoying as shit. They're like, this baby want eggs, baby likes eggs. It just is the same. And that was like the most eye-opening thing.
That's why racism, homophobia, all of that shit is so fucking stupid. Because it's people on the outside coming up with, I guess, hateful sort of stand-up ideas.
Is it hateful or is it just purely ignorant? Like, meaning like...
I think it's just
I don't think as
how
many people
human
have
beings...
hate.
If you look at the internet, I mean...
The internet has a lot of hate.
What percentage of the internet is hate and what percentage is supportive?
On my feed?
Yeah, I just mean in general.
I'd say 80% is hate.
Yeah. But I don't think it is 80% because there's a good 30% that are just doing it just to piss people off, which if I wasn't in this bullshit, I would be doing that. I would be the biggest fucking troll.
Hard.
It would be so
as
fun.
fuck.
It's fun.
Dude,
I don't mind. I think trolls are funny. This is the thing. If you're fucking,
trolls,
if
good
you're
trolls.
joking, I don't give a fuck what you say. I really don't.
Good trolls.
But if you're serious, then that's actually annoying. But the thing is you can't tell. So that's why I don't read any of it. That's why I don't fucking. I tweet something.
There was a girl. Jim Norton did a thing with Lindy West. She was I don't know what the thing was, but she went on W. Kamau Bell. I keep wanting to say podcast.
Kamau Bell.
I keep wanting to say podcast, but it was this TV show, and read her hate mail, and she gets like 15 in, and you're just like, this is what's wrong with the internet. And then number 16 was so funny. It was like, I hope a refrigerator falls on you, and you're like, that one's good. You got to give it to that guy. That guy's got some chops.
I know you always have to get. Patrice was good about that.
What's that?
Just like if somebody got him with a good one.
Yeah.
One time he told me the story. He was at Stand Up New York, and remember that bit he used to do? Like, when y'all look at me, do you see a big motherfucker? Or do you see a fat motherfucker? And this black dude in the back goes, a big fat motherfucker. And the whole place died laughing. And then Patrice goes, all right, that was good. That was a good one. I'm not gonna lie, that was a good one.
What was the one, by the way, this will stamp my fandom in radio and podcasting and comedy. What was the one that they yelled at you at Dangersfields? If it's red.
Anything red and on stage is a faggot.
Anything red and
I didn't even know what to say to it. It was so schoolyard and childish, and he was so fucking angry. No, it was just like these three white dudes, and you could just feel the heat of their anger, and the whole crowd felt the heat of their anger. So it was cock blocking the whole show, and I'm up there bombing, and my survival skills were just going, don't look at him, don't say anything. This is just a loss, Bill. Just take this fucking loss. You're still gonna make the playoffs. Just get out of the stadium and leave. And the ego, I just couldn't. I just finally just let go of it. I go, hey, what are you guys talking about? And that's what he says. Anything red and on stage is a faggot. And it was like, all right, so what's up with Monica Lewinsky? And then I kind of had to walk by him, I was just like, these guys are gonna jump on me, and they are not gonna stop. And there's like fucking 80-year-old waiters in red jackets are gonna have to try to pull them off.
Anything. I remember, I don't know where I was when I heard you say that, but I could not stop. I had no defense.
There was nothing. It was one of the few times somebody ever heckled me. I didn't say anything. I just went right back into my act. I saw Anthony Clark do something like that one time. It was fucking hilarious. He was standing on stage, and he was doing his shit, and he was killing and blah 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 as always. And then somebody just started talking, said something to him, and he was just standing there, and he just looked at him, and then just went right back into the next joke. And I can't do it the way he did it. The whole fucking place just leveled. And I was like, and we were in the back. We were all young comics then, way back in the day. And I was thinking, like, he just handled a heckler without even saying anything. He's one of the guys I miss the most.
I miss him, man. He was funny as fucking shit, and he was a good hang.
And one of the greatest storytellers ever.
God, he was. Everything about him was really dripping with like authentic. Like he was all right.
Oh, he was so funny.
Do you want a martini? Like just a fun guy to party with. I party with him a bunch at the Improv.
Super intelligent and really silly is like my favorite combination ever in a comedian. He was like that, man.
Did you Townies wasn't with him, right? Mm-mm. Molly Ringwald? Mm-hmm. Gosh, she's so fucking hot to this day. Dude, one of this, oh fuck, what was I gonna say? Oh, Dave Attell, best. I'm young comic, I'm in the back, and a guy is heckling Attell. This has gotta be 99, 98. And he goes, sir, that's enough out of you. I'm gonna come back. And he goes, and then the guy, he goes, I hear one more peep out of you, and when I'm done with this joke, I'm gonna destroy you. And then the guy says something again. He goes, okay, all right, sir. I'm gonna finish this joke, and I'm coming right back to you. And he finishes his joke, and that's the difference between men and women on fire. All right, you're up, dumb nuts. Here we go. And just he goes, it's guys like you that make girls like that fuck guys like me. Here's the problem with like. He had 20, and the guy got up and walked out, and I'm just in the back going, I don't have that skill set. Like I couldn't, I had nothing to get out of a fucking.
I love that when I didn't know how to handle hecklers. My favorite, and you go up there and you get eaten alive by a crowd. And I remember when Attell or Louis C.K., Chappelle, Greer Barnes, like somebody was going to go on stage that I would, as much as I hated the crowd and I was embarrassed and people were walking by looking at me, I bombed, I didn't give a fuck. I just stood there and I would just wait. I go, this fucking guy, now he has confidence because he fucking, because he beat me, who doesn't even know what he's doing. And he's gonna think like, oh, I'm running the room. And then those guys would go up there.
Fucking destroy.
It was like your big brother came in and beat the shit out of the bully for you. It's fucking awesome.
Patrice did that for me one time. He saw me say a prayer before I went on stage. It was that bad in the Boston, and I got off, and he was like, ugh. He's like, I don't ever want to see you say a prayer before you bomb. And then he went up and annihilated this table of black chicks, all in the front row. Those
Dave Attell did that to me one time.
Oh.
Well, I came off stage at Stand Up New York. I was going, oh man, they're real aggressive and blah. And I was all like, and he goes, and I was too scared to do this one bit, blah, blah, blah. And he went up there and fucking just shut them all the fuck up and was in the middle of killing. And he looked over and he goes, do you have a little more courage now, little red man? Something like that. I felt like such a fucking pussy.
Oh, Jesus. I would love to tour with Attell, just to watch him. I played.
Dude, I'll tell you a turning point in my career, opening for him at the Improv in Tempe, Arizona, that great club where Spade taped its special.
Yeah.
And that was like, back then, that was the deal. Like
that was
nobody,
the club.
because nobody was doing theaters. Like Carlin was doing Cosby, like guys at that level.
You could sell at the Tempe Improv. That's 500 seats.
That was it. That was where the dream ended.
Yeah.
Those black and white tiles. You walked in, it was like, I've made it. And I watched
Rachel,
him.
can I get one more drink, please, real quick? Keep going.
So I walked in, and I was thinking, like, all right, I've never seen Dave Attell not be doing the 12:30 spot at the Cellar. How is he going to adjust to this dry climate of the desert? And I'm all in my head. Okay, don't say this. You got to say Circle K. You got to say.
Wait, you were that guy?
I used to be like, what do they have here for convenience store? Do I say 7-Eleven? This is before 7-Elevens were like across the country. We had like Christie's and Cumberland Farms for where I was from. So, and he went up there and did not change a fucking word.
One bit.
Actually went harder.
Here, take this.
And murdered.
That was the crazy thing, watching people go from doing city sets to watching them do an hour.
I'm gonna finish this fucking thing.
Yeah, we're gonna get through it. I gotta burn on the other side. All right. I've never seen you on the road. I would like to see you in a theater. I've never seen you do a theater hour.
It's fun. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's a fun time.
Do you know what I wanted to do?
I got a great one for you. I'm a fucking huge Stevie Ray Vaughan Double Trouble fan. And I found this footage I'd never seen of them killing it at this little theater in Memphis. And I was like, wait, I'm going to Memphis. And I looked up and it's the same fucking theater.
Yeah.
But I think they redid it. Because I'm one of those geeks, I get off on, like, if I get up there and I'm standing on the same floorboards that they stood on, you feel like their magic is in there.
Hold on. what's the place in Long Island? Brewer did a
The one in the
residency. No, he did a residency there for a month. It's
Governors.
No. It's a theater. They just opened it. They just redid it. It's really beautiful. Is it Montclair, New Jersey? Maybe no.
you're in Long Island.
It's Long Island. It's
Is it Montclair, New Jersey?
I'm trying to think of the cities. And so anyway, I go in and they have a thing on stage, and they go, it's like a plaque, and they go, this is where Billy Joel opened. He opened the club for them. And this is where he sat his piano. So if you stand here, you're standing where Billy Joel stood. And I, in the middle of my set, just walked back over and told a joke from there. I couldn't help it. I love, dude. Theaters are one of the coolest. Like clubs are amazing because you see everyone's name up there, but you know everyone's been there. But when you go to these theaters, some of them, you're like, I was there at one. I'm a big fan of Wilco, and I did one in
What does
Columbus.
Wilco stand for?
I don't know.
Will comply.
No, and so I was in Columbus, and they
I
were
don't
going
know
to be
if that's why they do it, but
they were going to be in Columbus